Okay, it's been a week. I've given it enough time to play it, to experience it, and I'm giving my full review of the FIFA 22 beta. This is purely the beta. This isn't the full game, so when the full game's out, it may be a bit different, but as of right now, I've played beta. I've had the full experience of FUT, especially. I've not touched career mode, so I can't really speak about that. But for FUT, I've lived it. I've gone through it. Let's talk about it. Let's go. Me, Big Nose. Do you want the best player on the game? Well, you can't get D-Money because he's probably not in FIFA. So get Phil Bardsley. Get all the Phil Bardsley. So if you're looking for the best way to get coins, don't spend fewer points, go over to useandbuy.com for the cheapest place on the market for your coins. Use code Vizeh at checkout. I want to talk here, and I've got a lot of points down from my own personal experience. I've played a lot, and I mean about 200, 300 games of FIFA 21 in the last month or so. So I'm pretty up to date right now of the current gameplay style of this current FIFA, and I've played about, I want to say about 30, 40 games of FIFA 22 beta. As you can see on my main account, I've got the beta right here. I've got the access to it, which is, I'm very lucky to have. I didn't expect to have this, but yes, I've got the beta. Of course, I can't show it. I can't show anything, even though I've been seeing, you know what? All I've seen on YouTube is everyone and their mothers putting up like beta content, thinking, how is that even possible? But not really going to complain about it. The game is a game. I'm not going to risk it because there's a chance that it may be a channel strike on my channel. I'm not risking that, okay? So as of right now, I'm not taking that. But if you want to do it, feel free, be my guest. But you probably, with a simple search, can find a bunch of footage, the pack open animation and the gameplay and whatever else. You can probably get access to it pretty easily. So in terms of things like that, there's no point really speaking about that because you already know what it is. You already know that the pack animation, there's no longer a tunnel. You open a pack and you're just there. You're just in the stadium. Like, boom, done. There's a player right there. Simples. I'm going to speak specifically only gameplay, okay, from my experience, and I'm a bit annoyed right now because I'm a player that I like the feel of a game. I like to have fast, responsive dribbling. I like fast, responsive passing, and it's not that, okay? In my own experience, it's not that, okay? I got a bunch of points here. I'm going to put on my glasses because I can't see, okay? I'm going to read out these. So my number one thing, which I find very frustrating, is, in my opinion, the players feel so heavy. They feel so heavy on the ball when they turn, when they pass, when they jockey, when they run. It feels like it's just heavy, man. Right now, if you're on the beta, and you will know, but they've dropped like 98 rated cards of Messi, Ronaldo, Mbappe, Neymar. They've dropped like insane rated version cards that every single person can use. So every single person has got, you know, 98 in for Ronaldo, Messi, Neymar, and they've got people like Rashford, they've got Aouar, they've got Donnarumma, they've got Marquinhos and Varane, Man United as well. So every single person has got access to these top rated, top stat cards. So this should be, in theory, the absolute top tier of dribbling. I'm using a 98 rated Neymar, and it still feels heavy. I'm using a Neymar, and it doesn't even feel... I've got a 99 with a Neymar, right, in my current team in FUT on FIFA 21. And I've played mini games at different times of the day to try and test it out, to see maybe it's just that one bad game, that one bad gameplay. But it's consistent, and I'm very confused, thinking, is it really now just pure realism you're going for now? If it's just realism here, then you're going to have a fantastic time on career mode, I'm sure. On career mode, I'm sure you'll be having a great time. But on FUT, I desire nothing more than a responsive, enjoyable, fast-paced game. That's what I want, okay? That's what I desire so much that I spend 70, 80% of the time playing FIFA on the ball dribbling, okay? Dribbling for me is the most important part because that's how you can get out of tight little spaces the most. Even if you got some pressure around you, you can weave in and out, go left, right, and fool your opponent. You can't really do that. It's like you move left, then it's like, they're right, then left. It feels like there's a delay. We're trying to turn back again, as if like the game's trying to complete some sort of animation before you can actually do anything. And let's move on to the next point here. This, for me, adds a weird dynamic to FIFA, and that is the fact that the players feel heavy, but the ball itself feels light. It feels so light that the ball bounces like at least 5, 6, 7 times a half, there's this 50-50 between you and a opponent player. You guys come together, and the ball just ricochets, and it travels 30, 40 yards, like left to right or upwards. Like, it just bounces, and not just bounces by, you know, maybe a more realistic distance, but it can just fly. I may say maybe that's realism, but it happens quite a lot that when you're in this realistic game, that if you're going to go for full realism here, commit to it. But when you have the ball do this kind of weird animation with maybe the physics of the game and the engine is just kind of bouncing off it and it doesn't know what to do, so it just goes boom. Maybe that is something that EA may be learning on, but I find that the ball physics can be really inconsistent at times, that it could feel really light and the ball is flying and spinning in a much more erratic way, but it feels strange to see that when the ball's moving so fast and so erratic, when the players themselves feel so heavy, and it's a weird combination right there. This is one probably completely pointless point, but I've got the fact that the grass looks very green, and yeah, the grass does look very green. If you care about that, then the grass, very green. Respect the grass. One big thing, which I'm sure that you're looking forward to hear, is chemistry. So we heard in the pitch notes that they're looking on making it that playing, for example, a right back or left back at centre back won't be as effective as previous years. And I've tested this. There's an inform Wan-Bissaka right now. There's an inform Alphonso Davies right now. I've tested this. I've played them on full chem, but at centre back, so they're on 7 chem, and there is a difference. There is definitely, I could tell a big difference with the way they're jockeying. So when I played them as a right back, let's say for Wan-Bissaka, when I jockey with him, I could definitely tell there's a big difference in the jockeying with him. So by jockeying, I mean that, you know, you kind of like trying to track a run, go left and right, and you could tell that it's not as sluggish when he is as a centre back, and that is very important because it's really dumb, the meta that you could play against a guy with 5-3-2 and he's got not a single centre-back. He's got Mbabu and he's got Wan-Bissaka, Tavernier and Kleiber at one stage, but nowadays I guess he'll be the likes of, who else would it be now, Paredes and Llorente, and it's absolutely ridiculous right now. But from what I could tell, this is also for if you play players off chem in general. So when you play, let's say that you play a left mid, right? You play Neymar, okay? You play him as a left forward, as a striker. I've noticed a big difference in the way that he just simply moves with the ball. On the ball, he feels different compared to if he's on full chem, if he starts him as a left mid. I do notice a difference. So all around chemistry, it actually feels like it makes a difference this time, which is very much needed because I'm sick and tired of seeing teams that makes absolutely no sense. You're seeing 5 players on like off chem and it seems like it makes no difference. So that is a good thing to see. Passing as well. Passing is, because of how heavy the game feels, it's therefore harder to pull off because you can't do any pass which is really at a weird angle. You can't do a 180 pass backwards, and if you do pull it off, it's very rare. It usually has this weird bad animation and that it just kind of has no power on it, and you can't just do passes absolutely anywhere now. And I'm using top tier players, okay? I've played a bunch of games with the 98, the 95 verticals, the elite players, okay? I'm not using a normal player like a prime, like a normal gold red Jorginho here, or like a Kovacic, or like a Van de Beek, or like a Valverde. I'm using the top echelon of players right here, and I can tell with the passing that it's hard to do. So if you're wanting to do those Hail Mary through balls through the channels, I think it is still possible because through balls is still a massive thing this year, I found, but it's not as ridiculous as it is in the previous FIFA. Speaking of through balls, pace is a big thing this year, as it was similar to day one FIFA 21, that pace was a big thing, and it was the same thing for the defenders, that on first day there was also heavy centre backs and then they changed that. So when it comes to through balls, pace is a massive thing. If you go through on goal with an Mbappe, Ronaldo, or really anyone with some good pace, you're not catching up. Even if you got a decent pace, centre back or full back, you're probably not catching up and they're usually off. Wing play is back. The possibility of someone just running down the wing and crossing the ball in, That is a lot more likely to happen. I faced people with Ronaldo who literally just ran down wing and just cross ball into him, and sometimes there's absolutely nothing that you can do because Ronaldo's Ronaldo and he wins the ball in the air. Okay, so sometimes that could be a situation as well that just crosses, jumping, headers, that is a very viable thing now in this FIFA as of right now. Of course, everything is still about the beta. Okay, this may be different in some different ways when the full game is released, but this is how I feel right now. Let's talk goalkeepers, because goalkeepers was a big thing for EA about all these animations, and you can tell, okay, you can tell these animations. I find goalkeepers this year are very good most of the time. Okay, there is the odd occasion there's a weird bounce and it glitches and it doesn't really react to it in the way that you'd expect to, but all in all, the goalkeepers are good. And you can also tell a lot of these new animations, and they do jump in like a sideways kind of spin as well, like a corkscrew, and you can tell these animations. Sometimes though, it can be to your detriment. Sometimes let's say the ball's up in the air and it's a high ball, the keeper can just go and jump up and collect it, but sometimes the keeper just goes duh, and just hits the ball backwards in panic and gives your opponent a corner, which is dumb. I find sometimes that does happen, and you may just lose the ball because the keeper just doesn't catch it, and instead, almost in a way, like likes to show off this new animation. It feels like that way, like they're trying to show off this new animation. So goalkeepers I find are really good, but there is the odd occasion that they can be kind of dumb and do things that you wouldn't really think would make sense. One big thing that I must talk about is the gameplay inconsistency. It's the same servers. This is the big thing here. If you play at 6 PM UK time, it's harder to play the games. It is harder to when you play in the morning. It's better gameplay in the morning and late night than if you're playing at 6 PM UK time when everyone logs on to go do SBCs. That's just how it is, and I don't think that'll be changed. That's how it is right now. I've noticed a difference. I personally have noticed quite a large difference from when I play at different times of the day. I got some little other smaller notes here. Nothing too incredible here, but I like to mention it just because this is just how I felt playing the game. I felt like it's never been so easy to lose the ball in midfield. Like, you could have your midfield of Aouar and Kimmich, or it could be a midfield of more attacking players, or you could have Paul Pogba. And I feel like it's so easy to be tackled now. When a player goes for a tackle, most of the time they get it. It's very easy to tackle players, and it feels like it's so easy to lose because you're not really in control. It feels most of the time, in my own personal experience. So it feels like to really try and like weave in and out of players, go left to right, and try and make your opponent think about which way you're gonna go, you can't really react that fast. So it feels like it's even easier to lose a ball in a midfield in the first place. That's one thing that I really mentioned a lot in this, that I just kept on losing the ball in situations that usually on 21 I could just get out of. And one more thing, that skill moves didn't seem to really be that effective that much. Like, I tried to do a variety of skills, heel to heel, to a roulette, to a more meta one like the bridge. I tried it, and I don't really seem to find that much of a benefit, that much. Like, half time, you're just getting caught out and you're losing the ball. Maybe because I'm bad at maybe doing skills, maybe I am. But again, it feels like with the dribbling aspect, because it feels so heavy to do these skill moves, it just feels like just giving the ball away and the ball just goes too far ahead of your feet. And again, I must reiterate here, I'm using 98 rated Messis and Neymars and Mbappes. I'm using the top tier cards. I'm not using like a normal gold Raheem Sterling. I'm using the best of the best, and I'm still feeling this. So this for me is a big issue, because if it doesn't feel enjoyable to move with the ball, no one's going to really enjoy it. If you struggle to score goals, then people aren't going to enjoy it, because who goes on FIFA to try to defend very well? That is just how I feel right now. I feel like just doing this video, just talking about my feelings about the new FIFA. And honestly, for me, I'm not the biggest fan as of right now. And it purely is just because of the heavier side of things. I'm not a fan of this realistic aspect. I always feel like this is great for career mode, but when it comes to FUT, it has to be much more fluid, and it is fast paced. This is a weird part. The players feel heavy, but the ball feels light and fast, and the ball can fly across the pitch very easily. However, the players, when they get it, don't seem to do much with it, unless if they run only in a straight line. It's really odd right now. That's how I feel about it. It feels kind of mixed. So let's see what they do when the game does fully come out. That's my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I'll see you all very soon, lads. Stay safe. Peace out.